So sometimes we want to make a sprite that's made out of different pieces. We want the pieces to, in some cases, act together, but then to be able to act separate as well. So for example, a tank with a turret. So I have a couple of images here for a tank with a turret. So I'm going to just drag my tank body in here to make a tank body sprite. And then I'm going to add my tank turret, and I'm going to put it on the tank body to add a tank turret sprite. Okay. Now see how the tank turret is underneath the tank body? I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change the sorting layer so the tank turret is in layer 1 and my tank body by default was in 0. So now that's on top of the other one. Alright, so now I am going to add our scripts here. I have the key scripts, which moves the tank around with my right left, or which will move a sprite around with my right and left. I'm going to add it to my tank body. Okay. So I'm going to click and drag my key scripts in the tank body, and now we'll run it. And as I press the keys, see the tank body moves up and down, right? But my turret does not. Okay, so I could add the keys to the tank turret too, and then both of them will be able to move. But if somehow they got off of each other, then they wouldn't necessarily move together. So what I can do instead, so I've got tank body and tank turret. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the tank turret a child of the tank body. And the child does everything the parent does. So I'm going to take the tank turret and make it a child of tank body. So now when I run it, they move together. Okay, so as you get these. But I could add another script to the child, the tank turret, that would allow us to rotate the tank turret with keys as well. So it would do both. Let me show you that. Okay, so I've written a rotate for the tank turret using transform rotate, and I used the fire 1 input instead of the arrows. And I went and changed the fire 1 input so it would go forward and backwards. And then I've gone into Unity, and I added that rotate script to the tank turret. So if we look at tank turret, I clicked and drag and rotate the tank turret. Not to tank body, but tank turret. So now let's play it and see what happens. So as I move the arrows, still both move together, right? If I hold the control key down, it goes right, and unfortunately we need to change the pivot point from the center of that picture to the top of the turret, but other than that, it works. So that's a little bit about using parent and children. So a little more demonstration of the parent-child relationship. So if we hit on the parent, the tank body, and we want to change the scale, so let me make it twice as big. You see both the body and the turret change because everything the parent does, the child also does. But if we want to just change, so I'm going to control Z back. If we want to just change the turret, if we click on the turret, we can do that. So the child can change by itself, but everything you change in the parent changes the child. And they can be very useful, and a sprite may be combined of a bunch of parent and children.